see the points in the paint right there. The foul went on Tim Duncan for the first time. This is Stoudemire at the stripe. We have a change as Jaron Collins, the starting center for the Suns, out of the game. They bring in Channing Frye, and Frye's had a unique position in this series.
Yeah, it's very tough for Duncan, and because he drags him out behind that three-point line, and then he gets involved in all those pick and rolls. So now with Frye in the game, they'll probably do a lot of screen roll game, getting Duncan involved.
They're going with a little screen roll right here, but the ball deflected and picked up by Frye. That is the first turnover for San Antonio. And here comes Steve Nash, who only played about 3 minutes in the fourth quarter in Game 3. Rockets was so terrific with his 23 fourth-quarter points. Richardson draws a crowd. Out of bounds, Ginobili stepping in front of Richardson, and it's off of the Phoenix Suns.
You'll watch the Suns on a lot of those step-up sideline screens. They'll switch it, and when they do that, Jason Richardson will try to go in the post. That time Parker did a nice job. He gave ground, and Richardson lost his balance and turned the ball over.
You see the early shooting right there. San Antonio at 60%. Here is Duncan. Ginobili picked up by Grant Hill. Shot clock is 7. Jefferson to Parker. Parker in the lead again. Pushed down by Nash. Picked up by Stoudemire. Here comes, as Greg Popovich like to say, ahead of the stake, Steve Nash. Floater inside. Nash. And picked up with the guys 6 to play in the first.
You see the pace of the game. The Spurs do not want to slow it down. Nice pass. That was a good pass. Duncan just couldn't handle it. Yeah, they ran a nice little high-low action there. Kevin, they were fronting in the post. McDyess did exactly what he was supposed to do. Duncan had him sealed, gave him a bounce pass, and Duncan just could not handle it. It's going to be interesting to see now when the Spurs start going to their bench. Now, George Hill is in the game. He had started 46 straight games before he came off the bench the other night. Did not play well, 1 of 7, only 8 points. They need a big game from him today off the bench.
Hill comes in for Ginobili. Inside, a great twirling move by Richardson. Phoenix Suns have started 3 of 11. It's Frye outside for 3 that goes by Hill. And rebounded by the San Antonio Spurs. Parker is 3 of 5. George Hill into the double team. Tim Duncan feeling the crowd. Hill is there along with Frye. Jefferson aggressively inside into Richardson.
It's one of the reasons why they can play Channing Frye at the center and cause nightmare matchups for Duncan is because Duncan has to chase Frye out of the post behind the three-point line. But look what happens when Frye is in the game. They double team him, triple team him, and you see the Spurs lose their spacing on the floor. Kevin, I've talked about it throughout the series. What used to be such a weapon for the Suns, that three-point shooting, has not been there for them. So the Suns can really go after Tim Duncan in the post and force those other guys, George Hill, Parker, McDyess, Jefferson, to shoot the two-point jump shots.
Jefferson at the line. A look now at the upcoming national TV schedule. TNT tomorrow. It all begins at 8 o'clock Eastern with Orlando-Atlanta Game 4, followed by the Lakers and the Utah Jazz Game 4. And then ABC takes you into the playoffs next weekend on Sunday. Doug, it's interesting. Whatever the Spurs have tried in this series really hasn't worked on either end of the floor.
Well, it's all screen roll. I mean, how are we going to guard Nash in the pick and roll with Amari Stoudemire? They've tried all different kind of things, and like you said, none of it's worked. Now here is Dudley coming in off the bench and doing what he does, knocking down the three. We saw his energy and hustle when he got on the board in Game 2 and totally changed that game around.
Duncan a screen for Jefferson, impressively takes it inside, and that is Richard Jefferson's game right there.
Kevin, it's an interesting thing. When you go back to the regular season, the Spurs won 1 game. It was 113 to 110. And in that game, the 3 guys who came off the bench for the Spurs were Ginobili, 21, Blair, 14, Jefferson, 20. Their bench had 55 points. So the only win they've had, Ginobili and Jefferson, neither one started in that game, so they came in with a bench of 55 points. Now you've gone to the series. The whole difference has been the Suns' bench.
Right. Nash taking it and keeping it alive, and Parker is right there defensively. Nash and Parker. Out to Dudley, who plays Grant Hill, knocked away by Duncan and out of bounds. And Doug, it was a bench that Alvin Gentry, at least to begin these playoffs against the Portland Trailblazers, either didn't trust or perhaps forgot, but he learned to regain trust in that bench in that first round.
Well, I think a lot of it was those first 4 games were relatively close at the end of the third period, so he had to go with his starters longer. Then in game 5, he said, I'm going to go to my bench. At the end of third, they were up 18. The bench played the entire fourth quarter, scored 55 points in that game, and since then, this is what's happened in this series. You can see the bench and how well they played. How about Dragic and Barbosa? 39 points, 30 in the fourth quarter. In game 2, they had 3 points a game.
Hill is all over Stoudemire. It'll be Phoenix's ball. And it's interesting because, you know, in the past times when the Suns have played the Spurs in the playoffs, it's always been a short bench with Mike D'Antoni's team. But he has given this bench great confidence and playing them good minutes. And talks to some of them right now. Down by 6 here in San Antonio. We're talking about the San Antonio Spurs, how they've tried so many things and nothing really has clicked as for the Phoenix Suns, Doug. They can play different ways. They've used a variety of ways with a variety of players, and everything is clicked for them.
They got a great chemistry, and the guys all play well together. And I think the other day was really indicative of that, with Amar'e Stoudemire not playing at all in the fourth quarter, neither was Jason Richardson. Steve Nash sat until the 3-minute mark, and they watched Dragic on the bench and Barbosa run a clinic. There's another turnover, careless play by Steve Nash.
That is the fourth turnover. Jefferson finds Hill. Well, if they get George Hill going and Jefferson going, who touched down this earlier, that could be huge for the San Antonio Spurs. There's Stoudemire. Duncan is on him. The quickness of Stoudemire is so evident. A reach in right there by Tim Duncan, who's going to pick up that foul with 3:42 to play. Tim Duncan is assessed his second personal foul as we swing it over to Marty Snyder.
About 9 of them went and toured the Alamo together. I think these guys wouldn't be walking around San Antonio together, but they were. And then afterwards, they went to see the movie Iron Man 2. In fact, Amar'e Stoudemire told me he gives it about an 8 on a scale from 1 to 10, in case you guys want to go see it.
The thing is, Stoudemire could be the Iron Man without any of the iron. As strong as he is, Doug, and a guy who has changed the whole way, it seems like, he approaches the game. And the other night you said he's so much more connected, kind of playing off of Marty's report, so much more connected with his teammates.
And I think he enjoys the praise that he's getting, being the kind of teammate he's being now, and living maybe with moments where he doesn't play in critical stretches. So that's a big growth part of maturity on Amar'e Stoudemire.
There's Bonner. Nash comes out on him. The shot clock is down to 7. And here comes the wheel of George Hill. Fry comes up with it. Nash the other way. Fry, an open 3. Parker's got it, and the Spurs the other way. Parker weaving to the basket and kicking it outside. Bonner a 3.
That's what he did the other night. He buried 3. He had been really shooting very cold from behind that three-point line. The other night he hit 3 big threes. Was not enough. He had 11 points. And actually, if I'd have told you Matt Bonner outscored Amar'e Stoudemire, you'd have thought that it boded very well for the Phoenix Suns. Here's a guy you got to worry about. Channing Frye, who's missed his first 2 threes.
The Suns have now missed 8 of their last, make it 9 of their last 10 shots. Bonner takes it the other way, and here's a quick timeout taken by the San Antonio Spurs. Well, Greg Popovich is going to be happy with the way his team has started tonight.
You know, Kev, it hasn't been the start the last 2 games. It's been the finish. Can they maintain this for 48 minutes? The Suns have gotten stronger, and they have faded the Spurs on an 8.
Autotrader.com and by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
We don't want to get swept. We still believe. Nobody ever came back from a 3-0, but there gotta be one someday, right? So we're gonna keep fighting till it's over. So you gotta face every game with the same mentality. If you're 3-0 up, always the next game is the most important one. Most important one. And if you are 3-0 down, the same. You don't have that tomorrow for sure. So you gotta go fight it.
It is worth repeating, Doug. No NBA team has come back from a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah, and Alvin Gentry said at one point in time no one had ever walked on the moon either. So he said we don't want to take our chances to let this team see if they could be the first team to do that. He wants to put them away today.
Barbosa has come in for the Phoenix Suns, and here comes Jefferson taking it inside. Blair with the great retrieval. Fighting it inside with Fry. And